guys like Carmelo, a small will carry you on the offensive end trying to get back to box him out.
Deck is off on the jumper. Here's Melo with the ball, and I mentioned the points per minute. 544 points in 557 minutes at the U.S. senior national team level, Smitty. Almost a point a minute.
It is. I mean, you know, he's number one as far as three-point field goals made at 39 and attempts at 94. He's second in field goal attempts at 188. He's just done so much. And then also take your hat off to him. I mean, Colangelo talked about it. He's the first call he had for a guy saying, do you want to play again? And he said yes. Year after year, he says yes to USA.
He'll be the first American male to play in 4 Olympics. Composer got the bucket on one end and let Lowry get away from him on the other.
Good job by Paul George. Great cut. And Kyle Lowry finishing for the USA.
If you want to hear from Coach K and Team USA after tonight's game, tune in to NBA.com and the NBA app for live post-game press conference coverage. Certainly looking like it'll be his reaction to a U.S. win as they lead it here by 26 late in the second quarter. In fact, Kevin Durant and Paul George have nearly matched Argentina. They have 24 points compared to Argentina's 28. But Gabriel Deck is on the free throw line, trying to cut into that margin a little bit. 6'6", plays professionally in Argentina, and about to embark on his first go-around as an Olympian. Did play 10 games with the senior team last year as Argentina qualified.
Some of these younger guys for Argentina has to step up in ways that Scola, Ginobili, Delfino, because they're the next wave. And right now for them is they got to have some younger guys to be able to compete at a high level. I think they're ranked 4th in FIBA rankings right now behind Lithuania, Spain, and obviously the U.S. Well, they got to find some guys you can see where they might take a dip, I think, because they don't have many guys right now that I can see younger guys that's taking over the torch.
Now, a couple of years ago, it looked as though Ginobili and Scola in particular were done internationally. It's a little bit of a surprise that they're back for this Olympic run. And they are searching for that next wave, as you mentioned. Brusino has to be part of that group. And he'll play for the Dallas Mavericks this year.
I like this little press by U.S. coming out. The USA doing a nice job of just slowing down. They have the ability to be able to press all over the court, especially with DeAndre Jordan back.
That part was handled by Argentina, but they couldn't get it past the trap. And Paul George has another breakaway bucket. Timeout here by Argentina with the U.S. up 54-30, and that's part of the defensive versatility that Coach Krzyzewski has at his disposal. 31 seconds left in the half. Back in Las Vegas, where Coach K's U.S. team has dominated Argentina so far, up by 26 here with under 32 seconds to go before halftime. U.S. has outscored Argentina 34-6 in the paint, and looks like they're going to add to that number as Melo can't finish. Butler comes away with it. Perhaps just another chance for second chance points instead, Smitty. They've had a ton of those too.
When you start looking at their percentage, it's not good at 42.3, and a lot of his easy second chance points. Well, this what makes them dominant, the USA team. They can score in so many different ways, and he, like you said, has been in the paint. And there's Manu
at the buzzer. Manu Ginobili. A little Manu magic before the break, but the U.S. leads it by 23. Ginobili's second 3 of this first half. He has 6, but the United States scores 56, 34 of those in the paint, 19 on second chance points.
Matty's 38.
He's almost 39.
Almost 39, but he knocks it down. Fantastic for them, but they're still down 23 points. But there's Manu Ginobili, one of the greats. Knock it down at 3. That's big.
We welcome you back to USA Basketball Halftime, presented by Verizon. A convincing first half lead, 56-33 for Team USA as they get the road to Rio underway. 14 points off the bench for Paul George in his return to USA Basketball. How about a familiar face as we welcome you back inside of this venue here in Vegas, and a guy who knows all about these meetings in the desert, Chris Mullin, a Hall of Famer, two-time gold medal winner, now the head coach of St. John's. I'm Jared Greenberg. Does it bring back memories for you seeing this team get prepared and get ready for an Olympic run?
It does, Jared, and all great memories. I was fortunate enough to play on a 1984 Olympic team, and again in 92. And what's really nice is you get all these great all-star players, and as you saw in the first half here, share the basketball, play defense, trying to establish themselves as a team. We all know they got great talent, but blending that talent together, which Coach K is going to do a great job at, but seeing them play together as a team is wonderful.
Can you imagine now as a college coach and having all the experience you do in the NBA at several different levels, trying to corral all of these egos, all of these all-stars, and get them to buy in the way they do?
Well, you know, these guys actually have a great mindset. You know, what they do in the summertime, they work on their individual games, and that's the most important thing, your skill work and your conditioning. And then, you know, Coach K, and I went to a few of their practices, he knows it's not so much about running his offense or Tom Thibodeau's defense. Yeah. It's about emphasizing their strengths, letting these guys play together, and when they share the basketball on offense and they give the effort on defense, the sky's the limit.
You have the unique experience that doesn't happen anymore of playing, you know, back in your college days, back in '84. We're headed to L.A. next for our second stop, and we'll play Sunday evening. That's where you won your first gold medal. What do you remember most about that team as the second leading scorer?
Well, so many things have changed. That was actually a time when you tried out for the team. Bobby Knight was our coach, and we had a long tryout process. I think originally it was about 88 players invited. They cut it down to 60 to 40 to 20. So it was a grueling tryout process. But I'll tell you what, in my mind, one of the most underrated Olympic teams. We had obviously Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Wayman Tisdale, rest in peace. So we had a really good team. Albert Robertson, great guards. Again, but when you have the talented team like that, you know, the coaches get them to play together, and we won the gold medal.
No Charles Barkley, though, on that team. We do remember that.
A little controversial.
Yeah,
you probably heard a little bit about that at TNT. I'm sure Charles told a few stories about that.
But he was good enough to make it on that dream team. Do you get more questions about that or your days in the Big East, those legendary days, your days in the NBA, which led to you being a Hall of Famer? What do you hear most about?
Probably about the dream team. And then, you know, I hear quite a bit about the, you know, the Big East and the immersion of that conference. The good thing is I'm so old I can't really remember anything, so I can't indict myself on anything.
How things going at St. John's?
Very well. Really excited. You know, last year was a year of putting in culture, hard work. So we got a bunch of new players coming in. We're really excited about the upcoming season.
St. John's University getting it done.
Thanks,
at the alma mater. Chris Mullin, the Hall of Famer. Thanks for coming back with us and joining us, the two-time gold medalist. Team USA trying to win a third straight gold medal. The road to Rio continues with second half action here from T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Matt and Smitty back on the mic. 56-33 advantage for red, white, and blue over Argentina at the break. Wouldn't know it was the first run for this version of Team USA, the men's national team, with a 56-33 halftime lead. Let's take a look at our game summary presented by Samsung. A plus 20 on the glass for the red, white, and blue. 10 of those grabbed by DeMarcus Cousins. Argentina's 14 first-half turnovers have resulted in 25 USA points. Paul George has got 14. Kevin Durant's got 12. We've got 2 more quarters to play out here in Vegas. We'll bring you the second half when we return here as USA Basketball's exhibition schedule rolls on. 56-33 at the break. Matt and Smitty are up next.
USA Basketball on NBATV is brought to you by Samsung. And members get exclusive rates and experiences with Marriott Rewards, the official partner of USA Basketball.
Back in Las Vegas, where everything has gone according to script so far, the United States leads Argentina by 23. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, the 2000 gold medalist, here with us, and everything you would expect the U.S. to dominate, they've dominated.
Pass lane gets guys, sometimes 2 through 5 that wingspan. Durant has done a fantastic job. 22 made field goals and only 4 turnovers.
Argentina turned over 14 times against the hounding defensive pressure by the United States. That's led to 25 points. I mentioned the second chance points. The U.S. led 19-2 at halftime, and in the paint, 34-6. Different starting lineup, or different lineup, I should say, in the second half. Harrison Barnes makes his first appearance of this game for the U.S. He was the only U.S. player who did not play in the first half. Likewise, Carlos Delfino was the only Argentine player who did not make an appearance, and he is on the floor here for the third quarter as well. Kevin Durant saying hello. Hey, where you been? Well, he's been away for 3 years, yes, undergoing 7, count them 7, surgeries to his right foot, trying to make his way back. Manu Ginobili starts the second half with a layup, just the way he finished off the first half with that buzzer-beating 3.
You know, and so many guys, when I was a teammate with Manu and also playing against him, saying he's going left. And yeah, he is going left, but it's so hard because he comes off that screen and roll so tight, and he uses his shoulders to get by guys, and he's so physical. And then he still showed a little burst to be able to get to the bucket over DeAndre Jordan.
Still true. Still going left.
Yes.
Still pretty good at it.
Still going hard.
Durant missed the 3. The U.S. was just 5 of 21 from three-point range in the first half. Didn't shoot the ball exceptionally well. Didn't really matter because they cleaned up so many offensive boards and because of all those turnovers as well. And Smitty, with that shorter three-point line, you know at some point that's going to come as well. Guys like Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony have made a mockery of the international three-point line.
Yeah, it's almost like a mid-range shot for those guys, and also they can catch and shoot it easily with guys defending them. And there's Manu Ginobili with a nice pump fake. He misses that one. But you said it best. That three-point line for a Durant, for a Carmelo, and a Paul George could end up, they can run off 4 or 5 in a row and really extend leads in games.
Irving back to Jordan, gets it back. Laprovitola had to go around the Jordan screen. No chance. And Irving cashes in by knocking down the U.S.'s 6th of the night.
And Kyrie is so good off the catch and shoot 3, but his ability, like you shared with this shorter line, off the dribble. And there's Manu Ginobili.
Now that is one of the classic elements of Manu Ginobili that won't be part of his... Argentina's arguing that was a tipped ball. Now here's some of the differences we talked about, including that three-point line, which is significantly shorter at the FIBA level, about 1.5 feet, in fact. Fewer fouls allowed in a smaller game, or a shorter game, I should say. And talked about goaltending. It does not exist at the FIBA level. Once the ball hits the rim off a shot, anybody can grab it, touch it. Carlos Delfino just picks Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Been waiting 3 years to do that, Smitty.
And Manu Ginobili threw his legs, and I wonder if we could get a shot of Coach Popovich, who's sitting next to Jerry Colangelo. They used to drive Pop crazy.
Well, that's an element of Manu's game that won't be part of his Hall of Fame induction speech, is that he can drive coaches crazy occasionally for a long time now with some ill-advised passes, we'll put it that way. Carmelo Anthony knocks down the three-pointer, 7-3, and there's maybe a little momentum from the three-point line for the U.S.
Not good for anybody if they can dominate the points in the paint and then get a chance offensively to start knocking down threes.
Argentina had a couple of tries at it there. Trailed by 27 here early in the third quarter. Irving missed it. No Argentina player really went after that ball.
I just love Nocioni. Every trip down, he goes at referees. There's Popovich with his head down, and he's next in line. Phenomenal job he's done. And can't wait to get a chance to see him take over for Coach K. And watching Ginobili, I mean, it was a treat when get a chance to play with Ginobili first came, because trying to control Ginobili was something to watch, because he threw his legs around the back passes, and he would give you, hey, I don't know what I did, Coach.
Hands up, hands raised, palms up. It's the way I play, Coach. Really one of the most unique players in NBA history. Basically brought the Euro step to the United States, now utilized by so many players. James Harden, most notably. Foul on Carmelo Anthony, trying to guard La Providola.
And there was
even
a guy
there having a conversation about it.
I was young and watching him and Manu Ginobili. Shrewdest Marshalunas used to go so hard with his strength. The same thing with the Euro step. Both those guys are very tough to guard.
And Marshalunas is such a big body for a guard, just bull strong. Scola out to Delfino, and Carlos hasn't lost a step.
He has it.
Good for him to come back and knock down a shot here. Good to see him back on the floor after struggling those foot surgeries. Anthony with another three.
Carmelo can heat up quickly. You look at Carmelo right now, 15 minutes, 11 points. He's like a point-a-minute guy for the United States.
Ginobili off the glass, no good with the left hand, and it'll go back to the United States. Carmelo Anthony, 2 Olympic golds already and a bronze. Didn't play much for that 04 team that lost Argentina. He and LeBron James were both rookies on that team. Harrison Barnes now on the board for the U.S. Knocks out his first shot of the night.
Didn't get any minutes in the first half. They're getting a chance now to start. And there's DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant beating each other up with a rebound.
Jordan knocked down. Then he lost the ball as Delfino got it. La Providola thought twice about trying to shoot it over Jordan, but Argentina gets it back. Delfino in the corner underneath. Well done as he finds Nocioni. A couple of names American fans know very well. Both guys who had pretty good NBA careers, Carlos Delfino and Andres Nocioni, who is still productive player at 36. In fact, he was the MVP of the EuroLeague Final Four just last year.
And look at Scola run, and because he ran so hard, gave a free opportunity for Manu Ginobili. Good job by Argentina. Still down 24 points, but looking better offensively in this half.
And Ginobili's knocked down 3 of the 6 threes he has tried. Irving with an answer with a 2 on the other end. Ginobili has 11 points. That's 7 now for Kyrie Irving. Delfino with the ball. He's got the Scola screen. Back to Scola for 3. And the new Brooklyn net. drains it.
You know, Louis scored last year for the Raptors. We talked about his post play, but last year he shot 40% on three-pointers. I mean, increased his rate.
Well, that's one thing. One thing Argentina is doing exceptionally well right now is knocking down threes. They're 9 of 19 from the great beyond.
And if they were a little bit closer, we could have a better ball game in the first half of knocking down those shots. And that's the one area I talked about as a key for the United States team. They have to defend that three-point line. Because teams can get right back in the game or hang around.
Coach K will swap out everybody here. George, Thompson, Butler, Cousins, and Kyrie Irving does remain on the floor. Irving out to Cousins. George working with Cousins, and an offensive foul on Paul George.
You can see Paul George determined to come off that screen. Just use his arm a little bit.
Third foul on George, defended by Patricio Garino.
Patricio did a nice job of playing the play because they really sent the pick and roll down and kept Paul George on one side, and yeah, he shoved him a little bit.
Garino's a good defender. He was Atlantic 10 all defense at George Washington University. Nocioni with another bucket. And the Argentines are now within 21. U.S. led by as many as 29 in this game. Battle for the rebound down low. Butler was fouled.
Matt, we get a chance to see Manu Ginobili knocking down threes. He's in fantastic shape, 38 years of age.
A 69-48 third quarter lead for Team USA as they open up exhibition play here in Vegas. And I'm joined by a guy who is busier than J-Lo and Britney Spears these days in Vegas. Jay Wright, national championship winning coach at Villanova and helping out with the U.S. select team. What's it been like for you? A whirlwind, I'd imagine, the last few months?
It has. It's been crazy. I committed to the select team before we won, so I didn't know it was going to be this crazy this summer, but it's been great working with this team.
Have you helped out Kyle Lowry doing some trash talking here?
No, I'm really impressed with him, and it's a different role for him. You know, he's coming off the bench, kind of a cheerleader and an energy bringer. I'm proud of him. I like what he's handling this.
Working with Greg Popovich with the select team, what has been the goal this week with those group of young guys who are trying to get on this national team?
Select team did an amazing job this week. All young NBA players, right? And they came in and they ran France, Argentina, Serbia. They ran their cuts against the Olympic team, played zone against them, and then we scrimmaged amongst each other so Coach Pop could get a look at future Olympians.
I see you've been sitting next to Coach Pop during this game. When Manu Ginobili takes shots, is he hitting you? Is he elbowing you? Anything happening? Is he saying anything?
It's funny. He knows everything Manu's going to do before he did it. He had that turnover right in front of Pop right here. Pop just shook his head. He knew it was coming, but it's been amazing spending time with Pop. He's a great guy, but his basketball IQ is off the charts. I've learned a lot.
What are your aspirations with Team USA here? Could you see your role growing every summer?
You know, I've worked with Team USA a lot. I've coached Pan Am games, Goodwill games. I've worked with Coach K in any way they've asked me to. And this is kind of it's a team, it's a family. Whatever they need, I've done different things, worked with the select team. So I'd do anything they needed.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. We know you've been a very busy man out here running camps in addition to working with our select team, so we appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, man. I love it. You're representing Hofstra well, man.
That's right. Hofstra guy right here, Matt Weiner and Steve Smith.
Well, you're talking to the son of a Hofstra gal and the nephew of a couple of Hofstra guys as well. So we've got the whole Hofstra thing covered here in Las Vegas. U.S. has actually been outscored here in the third quarter by Argentina so far.
They
have heated up from three-point range. In fact, Argentina's 4 of 6 from three-point range here in the third.
A little bit more competitive game, and they've defensively done a nice job. And offensively, you said it best, they knocked down some threes, but not a lot of easy buckets, especially on the offensive glass for USA.
Scola into the post with Lowry on him. Remember, he first forced a turnover in the first half in that matchup. Papavitola out to Scola. Off on that three, Nocioni grabs it, and he's fouled by Lowry on the baseline. Nocioni was already ready to argue the call, even though he got it.
Man, he got the call, like you said. It's just in his DNA to go at referees. But you said it best. I mean, Argentina's done a nice job in this second half. They're still down 20, but so far, they've won this second half.
Cousins just swallowed up that ball from Scola and is called for the foul.
So happy for Jay Wright. You know, just to go back to talk about him. Phenomenal job with that Villanova team. The last 2 years, the team the year before you thought had a chance to win a national championship, and we know in March Madness anything can happen, but this year weathered the storm, and wow, was that a big shot.
Yes.
The way they ended to win that game.
Probably the greatest finish to a national championship game there has ever been. Scola at the line here, 5th team foul on the U.S. That triggers the bonus. And Scola, great shooter, knocks him down. He's in the double digits now with 10. Lead is down to 18. Once as big as 29 for the U.S. Scola in the paint Scola defending Cousins and strips him. Brusino. Over to Garino. Nocioni puts it on the deck. Tried to scoop it up. It's an air ball collected by Cuz. Thompson passed Brusino.
Good job.
And the Argentina hands have been much more active here in the second half.
That's a victory for them. And you talk about biggest lead by the USA team, 29. It's down to 18. We got a game.
Foul on Garino, his first. Lowry will inbound for the U.S. The Toronto Raptor over to Thompson. Quick trigger three. Cousins kept it alive. Lowry saves it back to Thompson. Out to Butler for three. That won't go. Cousins again there for the board. And for about the umpteenth time here, an Argentine player is forced to foul an American as the offensive rebounds.
When you start talking about three-point line, 10 three-pointers made by Argentina for 47%. The USA is 8. That's why they cut into this league. It's been the problem for them is on the glass throughout this game. Plus 21 for the United States of America, and that's 38 points in the paint. Because of
those are big, big numbers. The U.S. has doubled Argentina's rebound output. Lead back to 20 thanks to the Cousins free throws. Laprovitola has it, guarded by Thompson. Screened by Scola. He grabbed Cousins' arm to try to create a little space. Still didn't work. Smacked away by Cuz. Stays with Argentina. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Marcus Cousins did a nice job of being able to switch out on a guard and slide his feet and block a shot without fouling.
Into Scola, back to Laprovitola. Baseline. Thought about the reverse, instead to Garino for the three. That won't fall. And here comes Kyle Lowry ahead to Thompson. Thompson into Garino's chest. Does a nice job moving his feet. And comes back to try to strip Cousins, but he'll pick up the foul.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins, nice job of in traffic being able to make plays. A big that has a skill set of handling the basketball and making plays. He's real fluid as a guy 6'11", been able to dribble the basketball and more importantly, man, with his head up. And as he misses this free throw.
Foul actually goes against Scola. It's his third. Cousins is a two-time NBA All-Star. All-NBA second-team member the last 2 years. There's a lane violation there, but the shot went, so we play on. Under a minute to go, third quarter. U.S. up by 21. Rusino out front, and he's called for the travel.
That's because of the pressure of Klay Thompson, on-ball pressure. And then you have Paul George and Jimmy Butler, two wing guys that close the gap, and they take your space away, force that turnover and that travel.
This really is a great defensive lineup on the floor right now with three wing players in Butler, George, and Thompson, as good as really anybody in the league defensively. Thompson stripped by Carino. Patricio Carino can really guard people. I mentioned he was a three-time all-defense guy at George Washington in the Atlantic 10. Done a nice job staying in front of people.
Yeah, getting his chest in front. Just a little bit of the grabbing, a little holding of Klay Thompson. He draws that foul, but like you said, a good job by him being able to slide his feet and take the bump. And so impressed again. Talked about Klay Thompson, the run he had with Golden State last year in the playoffs. Without Stephen Curry, he had to be the #1 option, but I think also to be able to guard 1 through 3 and the energy he had to give out on the defensive end and still score the basketball. He's put himself as he's always been an elite shooter, offensive guy, and I think one of the best two-way guys in the NBA.
They may have saved the Warriors season with that 41-point Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals. Gold medal winner with the U.S. 2 years ago at the World Cup. I watched that team a lot, covering them over in Spain. I thought he was their most consistent player over the course of that tournament.
Quick trigger.
And he can really shoot it.
We're talking about a guy who missed it, and we're saying he can really shoot it because it looks so good. He squares up and gets on balance.
U.S. just 8 of 31 from three-point range. That'll come. Only a matter of time. La Providola goes behind the back, working on Draymond Green. Step back. Butler touched it last, but they run out of quarter. And the U.S. is right back where they started the third quarter. Argentina plays them even. And we go to the fourth with a 23-point United States lead. Fourth quarter on the way here from Las Vegas as Team USA launches the road to Rio in the 2016 Olympics. The U.S. men's and women's pre-Olympic tours continue with coverage on NBA TV presented by Nike. On Sunday, you'll see China and this U.S. men's team at 8 Eastern time with Marv Albert on the call with Reggie Miller. Monday, it's the U.S. women's select team against the U.S. women's Olympic team at 10 Eastern time. Tuesday, I'll call in Oakland of China and the U.S. men. Smitty will be back with me for that as well at 10 Eastern time. Wednesday, France and U.S. women. Klay Thompson gets us started here in the fourth quarter after Argentina played the United States even in the third. Thompson now with 9 for the U.S.
Great execution on that offensive play in there. You can see right now Kyle Lowry, Draymond Green running down the basketball. Turnover by Argentina.
Gabriel Deck threw it away for Argentina. Another turnover for them. That's their 17th of the game. Did a better job in the third quarter after 14 first-half turnovers. But that's what the U.S. has done. We've seen this over and over again. in different quadrennials, either the World Cup or the Olympics, is that their pressure can just overwhelm opponents.
It is, and now would you have the versatility of these so many wing guys being able to switch? That's extremely hard. You got to have guards, that point guards with some size to be able to attack that, and now you have Kyle Lowry inside to DeRozan grabbing rebounds. Argentina now coming up with the offensive rebound, and that's where it's going to be hard for teams. And that's where you look at a team like Spain. You can't switch on Marcus Hall and Pau Gasol. They both was playing together because of their ability. They're a team that could be reckoned with. Marcus Hall not playing, so United States okay with that one.
George in the open floor once again. That's where he's done his damage in this game. In the paint and at the three-point line. The analytics guys love Paul George tonight.
Yes.
Layups and three-pointers.
Layups and threes. They don't like the mid-range game.
How great is it that Paul George is out here wearing the red, white, and blue? And not to belabor the point, but everybody remembers what happened 2 years ago, August 1st, when George went down. And it still sounds bad if you use the technical term, the medical term, but he suffered an open tibia fibula fracture to his right leg. At the time, the instant reaction was a lot of people wondered if it might be a career-ending injury. It was that gruesome, frankly. Fourth quarter of the showcase game then. Basically missed the entire following season, came back, played 6 games. Last year, though, 78 games, really productive for the Pacers. Great playoff series, although the Pacers lost. And here he is once again, about to go to the Olympics.
Well, Matt, you said it. When he came back, like you said, after he missed that entire year, those 6 games, he actually didn't look bad. His timing and his athletic ability wasn't there. And then last year, it was phenomenal to watch him play. And then the beginning of this broadcast, to me, he's in my conversation, a guy looking forward ahead to the season. Could be an MVP candidate. I mean, he was phenomenal in the playoffs last year. And I think, like you said, this 2 year of rehab and getting this knee back, and the way he's moving right now, could be in that conversation.
So good in the playoff series against the Toronto Raptors, averaged 27 points, just under 8 rebounds, 4 assists in that loss to Toronto. Made a great point about the risks and why these guys are out here. He said, we're not forced to play for our country. We do it because we want to.
And I love that statement by Paul George. I love he's able to be able to close this chapter. A lot of people say, why would he play again? What happened? But it's basketball. And I think for him is, he said he wants to represent his country. And he said, we're not forced, like you said. He wanted to play. And I think it's beautiful getting a chance to see him get a chance to have a possibility to win a gold medal this year.
And a big hand for George as he steps off. He leads the U.S. with 18 points so far. Durant to DeRozan, who went for a 360 finish. Lost it on the way up. That's what DeMar DeRozan brings to the table. He's had a pretty good summer as well. $139 million contract with the Raptors.
Did he sign that like at 12?
He had the pen in his hand
just
when the clock struck midnight. Yes. When do I say yes? There's a lot of speculation in the years leading up to his free agency, and he had to opt out first, that he might want to return to L.A., possibly with the Lakers. He's an L.A. guy, was born and raised in Compton, California. But there was no question in his mind. He wanted the years, he wanted the familiarity of Toronto, and he is a Raptor for the foreseeable future.
He loves Toronto. He loves Dwayne Casey and Masai Ujiri, what they're doing. And we speculated, like you said, the media about L.A., but for him it was, hey, I didn't take any visits. I didn't talk to anybody else. I wanted to return to Toronto. And you have him and Kyle Lowry. They can just add another piece. I know they lost some pieces during the offseason this year. Bismack Biyombo is going to be huge for them to replace. Sullinger's a guy who plays differently than Biyombo. Valanciunas has to have a good year and continue to improve for them to stay status quo.
DeRozan in traffic. Delia and Deck converge defensively. Timeout on the floor here in Las Vegas. The U.S. leads it by 28. Complete post-game coverage of the U.S.-Argentina game on Game Time here on NBA TV at 11 Eastern Time. Kristen Ledlow and our man 3D, Dennis Scott, holding down the studio right here on NBA TV. U.S. by 28. They have led by as many as 30 tonight. Argentina played them even in the third quarter. Draymond Green establishes a new biggest lead of the night.
And from his new teammate, Kevin Durant.
That's right.
We haven't talked about that.
Interesting, those guys are getting to know each other in this context. Getting to know each other better. They obviously knew each other.
Right.
DeRozan in the open floor doesn't have numbers in front of him. Leaves it for Lowry. He pushes, sends it back out to Harrison Barnes. Off on the three. Kevin Durant stunned a lot of folks. He just stunned Carino as well, defensively.
Wow, that's deep.
Deep three for Dre, and nothing but air. Although, to be fair, it's a shorter international line. They all look deep.
Yeah, they look deep.
Durant knocks it down.
Man, I mean, there are some guys that can score I've seen in this league. I put him right up there that could just flat out score in bunches and over year after year. I don't think he'll ever average under 20. They need to be played 20 seasons.
Hard to imagine. Four-time scoring champ, Carino gets a three back for Argentina. You're going to have four All-Stars, all in their prime, all well under the age of 30 in the same starting lineup in Golden State. And I can't wait to hear the reaction as Durant tees up another three. 18 now to tie Paul George to the team lead. KD heating up here in the fourth quarter.
It's not fair. You have Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the way they shoot the basketball, and you add Kevin Durant. And
Durant's over by us and in a little bit of pain. He's as combustible a scorer as there is in the NBA.
Watch his form.
And we got so used to seeing he and Russell Westbrook work together. It's going to be really interesting to see how he fits in to that ball movement offense in Golden State. Do his scoring numbers go up? Do they go down a little? I mean, I
think down just a little, maybe a few points. I think he'll be more efficient, and I think he'll get more wide open shots, and I think he'll have a lot left to finish games when you just say, hey, we need a bucket. Klay can do it, Steph can do it, we know that, but there's a guy that also can do it at a high level, and just a nightmare of a matchup. If you're a team that has a great wing defender, say San Antonio. Whoa!
KD's feeling a little bit. That was about 6 feet outside the line.
And you're the Spurs and Popovich. You say, hey, Kawhi, you have Klay. Who guards Kevin Durant or vice versa? I don't know how many teams that have two wing defenders, elite wing defenders to guard Klay and also Kevin Durant. And I'm not even talking about a team that have a point guard to guard Stephen Curry as well.
Well, you know better than I. You know, you go through those pregame meetings and you've got on the whiteboard the guy you have to stop. They've got 3 of those guys, and then Draymond Green is a triple-double threat.
I mean, you still have Iguodala and also Andre, like you said, and Draymond Green, those 2 guys being able to do all the dirty work and the little things. And we know Draymond can put up some points as well. I think the only thing you have to worry about the Warriors is how they're going to fill out their bench and athleticism from the guys that they still have on the team. They might become a little bit of a slower team when they start to go to their bench.
It's interesting. Barbosa's gone. Zaza Pachulia is there. Andrew Bogut was traded. Argentina did turn it over. That's over and back. And a violation against Argentina. But the top-end talent is sort of mind-boggling in Golden State. It's going to be a great scene up there when Kevin Durant makes his first appearance as a Warrior in the building, doing things like that. Durant now with 23.
Boy,
and making it look easy.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Hondo trying his best at 5'11" against the 6'11". Okay, 6'9", 6'11", Kevin Durant. And he went to the dirt off to one-leg fadeaway against him.
Boy, and who hasn't guarded Campazzo in this game for the United States? Facundo Campazzo came in thinking, oh, okay, you know, I can make some things happen. I'm a playmaker. They've switched everything. He's had like 10 different American defenders on him. And then he gets stuck in this situation.
He goes to the one-legged fadeaway. Just because he's so comfortable with that shot, but not necessary to go against a fadeaway against the 5'11", like you said, Facundo.
The Americans remember Campazzo, certainly the couple of Americans who played in 2012. He was part of an incident with Carmelo Anthony, who on cue knocks down the three. It was Campazzo who hit Melo in the groin as he attempted the three-point shot right in front of the U.S. bench. He later apologized to Kobe Bryant, not Carmelo, the logic being, in his words, that Chris Paul had hit him first, and he hadn't apologized.
Oh, okay.
Schoolyard logic there.
And that's the reason.
But he was not all that popular with Team USA that year.
He was not.
Carmelo certainly didn't appreciate it. Called it, quote, a cheap shot. Hard to argue that point. And the United States Olympic Committee has selected Los Angeles as the U.S. bid city to bring the Olympic and Paralympic Games back to the United States in 2024. Let's give our Team USA athletes an Olympic home field advantage that year. Learn more and show your support at la24.org. U.S. is led by as many as 41. There's down to 39, but they give it back. Campazzo brings it back.
A bit of a turnover
for Argentina. Campazzo and the Argentine are going with the gold uniforms here, not the, in my mind, not the fantastic blue and white ones that they've worn for years.
I'm old school. This one's not bad, but I just love their old school uniforms.
Always one of my favorite international uniforms, those blue and white stripes. Jordan hands it off to DeRozan.
He lost his shoe again.
Anthony. Melo's got the feeling. Another three for Carmelo Anthony, and the U.S. has really picked up the pace from outside the line. Now 14 of 39, nearly 36%. And Melo has 17 on the night.
DeRozan again lost his shoe on that play. And there's DeAndre Jordan knocking it off the rim.
Picked up on that real quickly. How much would he love that in the NBA? Can you imagine DeAndre Jordan with free reign to goaltend?
We don't need that rule. Not in the NBA. Kind of like the rule, though, is set off of offensive rebound back to 14.
You do or do not?
I do.
I like it too.
I'm trying to, especially in international play, but I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, Matt. How would that work in an NBA game? And I'm not sure.
I like it for pace of play, certainly. It's something that the NBA is always conscious of. Carino saves it for Argentina. They come back the other way. They don't have numbers. I wonder about the end-of-game situations that could develop. Would be very interesting. There would be situations where an offensive team would be forced to shoot rather than milking the clock a little bit, which is part of the intent, of course. Would change some things late. U.S. is 4 of 6 from three-point range here in the fourth quarter. Harrison Barnes, screen from Jordan. Pass Delia,
Nice.
Up and in for Harrison Barnes. HB with his second bucket of the night. He's got 4.
It's a nice play by Harrison Barnes. Is that a luxury for like a Coach K and coaching these teams? Just look down your line and say, I need a shooter. I need a defender. Like you said earlier, not worried about anybody getting in foul trouble.
Talent after talent after talent.
USA Basketball on NBA TV is brought to you by Jeep, official vehicles of summer, and by Cisco, proud technology partner of USA Basketball.
Let's take a look at tonight's play of the game presented by Kaiser Permanente, and a play that illustrates everything that makes the United States so dangerous. Great hands by DeMarcus Cousins, the ability to force a turnover and to finish, with Jimmy Butler getting an and one. Cousins also has 14 rebounds and 12 points here tonight.
Finishing up this game, as you can see, United States with put up 109 points. Okay.
Campazzo had to force up to beat the shot clock. The deep three, they get it back. Minute 40 to go here in the first game of the U.S. senior men's team's exhibition schedule on their way to the Rio Olympics. Carmelo Anthony brings it up, guarded by Delia.
See you later, Delia.
Melo beat him left and then decided to go to the reverse. He's fouled. Game effort by Delia, but he was in trouble out there on an island.
He gave Carmelo that look. Big fella's trying to slide his feet out past the three-point line with Carmelo. He has no chance. And nice little laugh from Carmelo. And once he gets in the paint, and if you have space, he's either going to go over the top or through you. And a nice pump fake to create space.
Be a story to tell the guys back at his Argentine pro team. His one-on-one battle with Carmelo Anthony. Who knows, he could meet him again in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Argentina will be on the other side. Group B. U.S. has an interesting group, including France. Their final game of pool play will be against a very good French team.
You know, I think France, not in the top 4 as far as FIBA rankings, but when you start talking about Nicolas Batum, Boris Diaw, Tony Parker on that squad, and Rudy Gobert being able to change shots, that's a team you got to watch out for if you're the United States.
France has not won an Olympic medal since a silver back in 2000. They have 5 current NBA players, 2 former NBA players on that team. Those are guys who are not going to be intimidated by the faces they see in the USA uniform. Turnover, Cuz slowed up for a moment with Laprovitola in front of him, gets it back. Cuz working out of the post, and an easy 2 for DeMarcus Cousins. 14 points, 15 boards, a tidy double-double for DeMarcus Cousins here tonight.
Making it look easy. You watch him, and yes, a lot of teams and people are shooting threes, even bigs, but he's still one of those guys that can dominate. Even with the new rules defensively, there's not a lot of space, but he can carve out space because of his first bulk, but also his ball handling and his ability down on the block. Is great footwork. He's a guy that can go either hand, and he can face up and knock down shots.
For those of you who missed the old school center, there are still a few left in the NBA. That's one of them. Marc Gasol comes to mind as well. Laprovitola with the bucket here. And the U.S. does not have to shoot. Up 111-74. Kevin Durant heated up here in the second half, particularly the fourth quarter. He went for 23 tonight to lead the United States. 18 from Paul George in his U.S. senior men's national team comeback tonight. Melo had 17, and the U.S. wins it by 37 here tonight, 111-74. Initial impressions of this USA team, Smitty?
I think for teams going up against this defense with these wing defenders, it's going to be tough. And then how do you box out DeAndre Jordan and DeMarcus Cousins? And we're not even going to talk about the three-point shot because they really didn't get hot in the three-point line. But when they do, it's going to be spectacular for them. It just comes down to their versatility on the wing defenders to be able to switch and create havoc. That's I think is going to set them apart.
Offensive rebounding was really a major factor for the United States. They outscored Argentina by 20 in the paint, outscored them by 20 in second